What's up? We back.
Yep.
We back. What's up?
We back.
We back.
We back up.
Season 4, we back.
Yep.
Do you see us? We here. Yeah, like that, like that. Like so, like that. Shout out to Tabitha Brown.
I don't know if they're here to snapping.
They might not hear the snapping. Let's know if you hear the snapping.
I still ain't fixed it yet, so I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of When Marriage
And Purpose
Collide.
The podcast.
The podcast, and we're here.
That's supposed to be the same time.
We're back. This evening, I'm with my husband.
Oh, gosh.
And we're enjoying doing this episode. Welcome to 95.5, the Nighttime Glide. But we're here listening to soft tunes.
Soft jams.
And soft jams here. We're here.
With your windy windows.
We have Darnell Jones.
Darnell.
Where I wanna be.
Somebody called me Darnell one time. I was like, how?
You look like a Darnell. I can see that.
All right.
Yeah, we can go with that.
I heard of Eric too.
Eric?
Yeah.
What would I look like? What other name would you give me?
Agree. I don't know.
I have names.
What you got?
I don't know. Actually, it went blank. I went blank.
See, same thing. I was like, I can't think of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna start this off with confessions.
Thank you for tuning in. We're gonna start off with confessions. Babe, take it away. What's
okay.
Your confession?
Oh, I forgot what it was. Oh, that's right. My confession is I listen to weird music. One of my go-tos is System of a Down Chop Suey.
System of the Down Chop Suey.
Yeah.
Oh, System of the Down.
The group is called System of the Down.
Oh, I thought you said
the song is called Chop Suey.
Mother Down.
Sister Mother Down Chop Sueys.
Oh man. Okay,
System of
how
the
does
Down.
it go? I think I know what song you're talking about. Maybe I don't know what song you're talking about. Because you can't play it because it's gonna be.
Yeah, I can't play
what
it.
You call it.
I'll have to play it for you later.
But how does it? What is it? What's the genre?
Kind of like rock.
Okay.
I think it's rock. Ain't metal.
You look like you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with your new hair.
And then from time to time, I listen to anime music.
Anime music?
Yes.
When did anime go to music?
They've been have music. Every intro, every outro they got their own theme song.
This is what happens when you marry someone.
I'm telling you, if you go through my playlist, you're like, what is this? Every now and then, I used to go to sleep to classical music.
Oh, that's not bad. Actually, that helps. Little Beethoven.
Oh my gosh, lovely. I used to do that when I was in my teenage years. I was like, oh, this is nice.
I used to go to sleep to Next. I used to tape the radio of what was out. So middle school, so Next, Escape, whoever was out.
Oh, well.
And then it'll be playing, just play it back. And then I'll go to sleep.
I used to wait, that's another confession. I used to wake up to Maxwell. Woman's Worth.
Huh?
Woman's Worth.
Oh.
Work. Is it work or worth?
Worth, I think.
I think it's work.
I can't find the.
Yep, every morning. Like, me and the cousins all waking up to Maxwell. It'd be loud too.
Why are you playing on loud?
It starts out loud.
Oh, because of the way it don't start off. Well, I guess it starts off.
Yeah, like anything you'll I guess now you can do it to where it starts off soft and it increases. Before it didn't do that. It just came out just max value.
Wow. So yeah, weird. The waking up ain't that weird to the stuff, but the anime and the whoever you see.
Hey, anime beats is nice. You need.
There's one that you played, I think, that was kind of cool.
Oh, is that one from TikTok?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody made that one.
Mm-hmm.
That was good too.
All right, thanks for your confession. So,
did you say yours?
No.
Oh,
what I'm saying.
All right, go ahead.
My confession is that I miss having ringtones. When I say ringtones, I miss having like the music where you could play the song that was out or a sound that was out or whatever and make it a ringtone and it'd be okay. Right now, I think if you play a ringtone, it'd be like, why they got their phone on? Like who could hear it? Why you do that?
Yeah, my phone stays on silent 24/7, but my ringtone is Mario.
It is Mario. It's been Mario for some years.
Some years. I need to change it.
And so that's the thing, like if you do have something, you either have what the phone gave you or you have that one ringtone you just play and don't even care to change. I remember there was actual times where there are websites. Yeah, you can go on for free ringtones. Mm-hmm. That was a thing to go get your free ringtone for a sound that was out. Like there's so many sounds out right now from TikTok that I would want as my ringtone right now.
I could just download it.
You can. It's just that it's not the thing. So it's like,
true.
Why would you do it?
Because I don't know. There's somebody at my job that got Star Wars.
I could see stuff like that. That's cool. Star Wars. Mm-hmm. I can't even think of Star Wars right now.
Every time they get a text message, a droid always pop up.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, where'd that come from? Oh.
So I would say that, yeah, that's what I miss. I think maybe I just miss growing up. I miss the 90s, the 2000s. Well, 2000s. I don't think we didn't have more majority of 90s. We didn't have nothing. So I would have to say the 2000s.
I was about to say, yeah, we did. We had outside.
We had outside. And so I miss having that because it brings you back to youth.
Yeah.
And to having ringtones. So
playing in the street.
Because I didn't get my first phone till my phone that I actually used until college. My first year in college, I used calling card.
Calling card.
I had the calling card. I had to use the card, use the minute, listen to how many minutes you had, whatever left on the calling card, and it's crazy how many they would sell calling cards everywhere, of course, especially in college towns. And then my parents got me a singular, and I kept that number for a long time until I changed it again.
See, my first communication device was a pager. I found it.
You found it? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. You could, because you could link pagers. You could just.
I never used it.
Oh, you just used it to show off?
No, I found it and I just kept it.
Oh, okay.
It kept going off too. Somebody was trying to page it.
Oh my gosh.
And then I found a 2-way.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was at a football game that I was supposed to be playing in, but for some reason I was not playing. And I found a 2-way in the ground. I was like, yep, kept that for like a year. And then I finally got a razor. Oh yeah, that razor was nice.
I got a razor too. I had a razor. That was fun.
Yeah. And then I found a BlackBerry. I was like, ooh, BlackBerry.
Blackberries were. Oh, I had a BlackBerry too.
Yeah.
I only got it because of the pen.
I didn't like it.
And I got it because everybody else had it. And then you could do the blue. What was it? BlackBerry. It was a BlackBerry number or code that you had with other people who were BlackBerry. So you felt like you was in the mix. And I was a business major, and so coming out trying to do corporate stuff, so I felt I was like extra corporate ladderish.
But see, none of mine had a line to it. These are all phones I found, except for the razor. The razor was actual my first phone.
Yeah, you just weird all around. Everything that you just speak weirdo.
And that BlackBerry sucked because you couldn't do what the razor did.
Yeah.
I tried to record. I was like, nope, couldn't play no games on it. I was like, man, this is trash. Used to play Snake all the time. Couldn't even do that.
This ain't right.
Yeah, all you could do is make calls, and I didn't have no line on it, so it was just a dead phone for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had it. People say, "Oh, you got BlackBerry?" Yep, I sure do. Can't use it.
So anyway, thanks for tuning into Confessions.
And I had a Zoom.
He's still talking. We're supposed to be transitioning.
My bad. Anyway, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Next, we're talking about God told me to marry you. And things around it.
God told me.
God told you to marry me.
There you go. Like,
I told God that I should
marry him.
Anyway, it's in that realm of things. But we're gonna talk about a lot of plethora a lot of a plethora of things in this episode because it's all over the place because it's going to be because of the topic. So just tune in, listen to what we got to say. I mean, we just having combo, okay? That's what we're doing. So first off, I want to talk about this whole pursuing deal and men and pursuing women.
Mm-hmm.
I have thoughts, but are men pursuing women the correct way?
Oh, the correct way? No.
Or is it pursuing period? Is it happening?
No.
And why is it not happening?
At least what I've heard and seen. No, it's not. I think a lot of it is because men are doing what they've been thinking in a way.
So it's like freedom.
Yeah, it's like freedom because a lot of times it's like, you know what, I'm tired of putting myself out there and doing this and doing that and getting rejected and this. Y'all come to us. That's basically what's happening. And some are just tired and gave up. And I think a lot of it is because one, social media and all the men are basically seeing everything that's going down. And then whatever else they've been experiencing, especially since high school or whatnot, a lot of them just like, you know what, I'm better off just doing my own thing, hanging out with the bros or whatnot. Like we saw on the cruise, all them dudes dancing.
That was funny.
They all look the same. But anyway,
they did all look the same.
Now the hottest thing that I've been seeing, although it's been a thing, but I think what's happening is a lot of black men are now doing it. Passport bros.
Oh, how'd that go to this?
Because it's I know, but that's where it's leading to. So
go ahead, explain what passport bros is for people who don't know.
Basically, it's just men getting their passport and going to get women from across somewhere else. Or
why though?
Or just to get loved on from somewhere else.
Because it ain't just to be doing it. What's the reason why passport bros are going?
I think a lot of them are tired of working hard to get a woman. And it's easier, or it seems easier to do that overseas.
American women.
Yeah.
Black American women.
And the reason why it's easier is because of culture differences. In different cultures, women are more submissive. Or submissive, but in a way they treat their husbands differently. They're like more like, because of just how rules and everything else is and how they grew up in family structure, they're more about family. Anything. So they don't put up a lot of guards. Yeah. But a lot of them going there for something else too. So yeah. Right.
I mean, it's just, but they bring them back to the States.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You go and get the woman from wherever, and then you bring them back to the States.
But see, like I said, it's been happening a long time. I've heard about it before it started blowing up this past couple of years.
You heard the name passport, bro?
No, it wasn't even called
what they were doing. Yeah, I've heard of this before, but now it's been.
I've met a few people who's actually they went over there, got a wife, and came back.
So basically, you're saying that men have changed, or men's perspectives have changed.
Yeah.
And so now, to make it easy on themselves, they either do passport broing, or they put up this facade when they're dating, to say, "Listen, what you got for me?"
Yep.
Because there's a lot more women to choose from, so they could do that to plenty of women.
Yeah, that's what it's less men, a lot of women.
Yeah, so they could have like 5 women.
That's a thing that's happening too. Oh my God, so many things that's happening right now.
Yeah,
I forgot about that polygamy. That's happening
so
too.
Much of that too. I didn't see that. Just scrolling my TikTok, I'm like, how did you show up on my page? Why is this on my page? I had no. I don't want you on it.
It's probably because of me.
What?
I've been watching this one. Right? What?
Explain.
I've been watching this one couple. They've been making like story time kind of. Well, they got a whole production kind of thing going on, but it's about polygamy, but it's a whole story to it. It's kind of like watching a soap opera. So I've been watching them. I'm just like, actually, it's kind of interesting. I don't agree with what they're doing. But...
Right. A lot of stuff is, I float towards. I don't agree with it, but I'm very curious of how things are turning out. So I'm like,
because she invited her friend to help, I guess, to help her because she's like didn't have a place or something like that. And then since they're
polygamist,
whatever you want to
I
call
don't know the word.
it,
Polygamy.
the boyfriend end up liking her,
Mm.
and the girlfriend's like, well, I mean, if you like her, why don't you tell her? It's like, this is so weird to hear that from your girl,
Right?
but she's going out on dates, and he knows. I mean, they talk about it and everything. Like everything's just like freely talked about.
I just feel like the enemy is doing a great job in trying to give men another identity, like to say, this is, you don't have to be that. You can do this kind of thing, and making it glamorous and making it show offy and making it look great. And at the end of the day, that's not what you're called to be. Because is there a way to still pursue that way? To still, for talking of going back to the man, let's just put a scenario. They're dating, men and women are dating, and everything's going well. And then he has his list of demands of how he, or maybe he's like, I don't gotta call you, or, I don't have to do this. Like, why don't you call me? Why don't you do this for me? Do that for me. And is there a way for something to still work? How men are, like, if men are thinking, if some men, I should say, are thinking that way, then is it a way that a woman can still handle that? Is there a common ground?
I don't know if there's I don't know. The only thing I can think of, either keep going until you find a man that's doing what you want him to do, or either that you kind of like flip the script and in a way be the man of the relationship, if that's
what
the
you
case.
want.
Yeah.
It's because you don't want to settle for that, because
No.
in a way, he's honestly, if he's not walking in his manly pursuit, to me, that sounds like he's settling.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you just making it easier for yourself, but you're not walking in the life that you're supposed to be walking in, because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
And pursuing a woman.
Yep.
The right way. So if you're not pursuing me now, how I know what you're gonna do when we get married or whatnot? How I know you're gonna take ownership, responsibility, or whatever?
And that's why I brought up the passport bros, because they're basically on the same page. It's like they want a woman that does everything for them, where they don't have to do much.
They don't have to do much of that. And so, which emotionally is missing all the pieces. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and that's why a lot of women are like, well, they acting like women. Because in a way, the traits that you're showing does show that, because
there's so many things with that, because I've seen all the conversations when it comes to that, but I know it's difficult, especially now. There's so many different like kinds of men out there. So trying to find, that one kind of man is going to be difficult. Like, we already had, the other episode talk about finances and everything, how they, already said, nah, I don't want that kind of man. I want this kind of man. It's like it's already narrow how much dating is. And then you make it even worse by trying to find, this man that's basically in charge of everything, doing all this. Finances got to be here. He's got to do, like,
yeah, and that's what makes it hard to date. That's what makes it frustrating.
Yeah.
That's what makes it frustrating. That's what makes you want to give up.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why are they are making it hard?
Yeah.
But I do know there's things that we as women can do to look for those things and to not settle for that. Because once you give him an inch, you know what I'm saying, he gonna take a mile.
Oh yeah.
And then you shouldn't have gave him that much energy.
Like, rub my feet.
Yeah, you should. There's things that we don't have to. There's ways we can communicate to kind of fill that out, and even if so, to tell him, okay, what you getting at? Like, what's happening here? And then either he gonna switch it up, or because if he likes you, he gonna switch it up, or if it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So yeah, that's the one thing I want to bring up. It is an issue, it is that, but I do think there are ways to overcome that. There are ways to just as far as dating, is to keep going, take the break, reevaluate some things, and to get back out there.
Definitely take a break.
Take a break from it.
Especially if you're online dating, take breaks.
Oh, definitely online
Take
dating.
breaks.
It's like you talking about you've been on a computer all day at work kind of thing. Like, it's the same thing. So take your break. Take your break. So I do want to get into men leading spiritually. I skipped the question, but I'm gonna go back
I
to
was
it.
about to say, what happened?
Is men versus women and leading spiritually in this whole deal. One reason I want to bring it up is because it feels like we expect more from a man than we do women.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that biblically, yes, I understand why. Men men are leaders. There's a lot of men are called. In the Bible, we read where God speaks to men prophetically. They're prophets and they lead, and they're all that stuff. And so we see that, but also the expectation that we have on a man that we want to date or we're seeking to pursue us. Like, we're expecting the high, like he has to be going to church, he has to be serving, he got to know his Bible left and right. So he's got to have he's got to have all these things together. He's got to have, not only does he have to have his finances in order,
right,
but now he got to have his spiritual life in order, where he's got to have somebody holding him accountable. He's got to come from this type of family. He's got to have this, because if they said if he's this, then he ain't gonna be vulnerable. So I got to make sure he's going through therapy, and I got to make sure he's this and that and this and this and this and that. And then on top of that is he has to be in his Bible every day, all day. He's got to pray day and night, afternoon. He's got to have been baptized. He's got to be leading next to the pastor, under the pastor, over the pastor,
somewhere next to the pastor.
He's got to be. But then when it comes to, they have to have all these things, plus spiritually, they got to be. So what's your take on that?
That's a lot.
Do you feel like there was pressure for you?
Well, no.
Okay.
It depends on. I think it depends on where the man's mind is at that time. My mind wasn't on dating that kind of pressure, because I wasn't focused on dating. Especially when I started walking with God, I was kind of taking one thing at a time. There was a lot going on. Because I think it was like a combination. I had left my job not too long ago, went to the post office, basically gave my life, regave my life to Christ. Regave.
Here you go, guys.
Started going to church and everything. Like, it was a lot of other stuff, but I wasn't focused on trying to find anybody. I think if I was at the same time doing all that, then I feel like it would probably have been wrong, because I probably would have been doing it for the wrong reasons.
That's good.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. Where, like, yeah, if he's doing all that finances and everything like that, and then he's, say he's in the band or something at church, and he's like, all this is for appearances and just to get a woman, and it's like,
sometimes that could be the case.
Yeah, no, like me, I wasn't worried about that at all. You hit me up, and I was just like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll do that.
And also that was all outward things.
Yeah,
we're seeing. So automatically, women are attracted to men that they see are in ministry and doing the things. Like, we see you as a musician, we see all those things. That's automatic attraction, because it's like, oh, he's really serving, but they don't see behind the scenes. They don't see what's happening, which is also, it could be two things. He could be serving God behind the scenes, doing this thing, or he could be doing the opposite of what he's going to. And that's the part where there's a miss in that. But as far as what would you say if a woman is interested in a man that is new to Christ, should she be okay to that he's wants to pursue her now. He said he's ready to date. So new to Christ though. There's a lot of women who don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
But what would you say for her? What should she do?
Look, I was in that same boat.
That's why I said that's what I'm
I wasn't new to Christ, but I was going back. You was just like, I don't know about the, I don't see
new life. You
right.
New creature. Yeah.
Right. I'm new. Yeah. I say give him a chance. I mean, this still could be, some red flags that pop up or not, but give him a chance because everybody's still going to be a baby Christ. I mean, no matter what you do, even if they been in church for a very long time, that don't mean they doing right. I mean, they're about the same level as the person that started out new. Of course, they ain't going to be doing all the things you want them to do, but they can.
Right. And it kind of goes back to that potential thing.
Yeah.
That we was talking about.
Don't shun them because they started. You should be proud of them. They started.
Because I saw potential.
Yeah.
And I saw that you wanted to do. Like, yeah. Because serving was on my list. It was like, okay, I want to make sure that he serves. But at the time you weren't. But then later on, that's when you saw where you were serving and you started getting it in there. And so I was like, oh wow, okay, my list is getting checked.
I'm beyond serving. There was no regular serve.
It sure wasn't. He pushed into the
captain over 70 people. Oh, okay. Right. I'm brand new with this. All of it.
Yeah, it's a lot. It was a lot. So I saw that. And so it's all, but again, like watching and waiting to see what fruit is happening. Like we can't, there's no right or wrong answer to like, should you continue to date? It's more so, are you vetting him? He has people, if he's a newbie in Christ, more than likely, if he's a newbie, he might have some people that he's connected to because that's the people who showed him Christ. And so have you talk to them? Because he might not, honestly, he might be ready to pursue, but he might not be ready to date. He might be ready, but he's not ready.
Yeah.
And so you got to talk to some people about that, like around him.
I'm about to say, you didn't have much to bet off of. My daddy.
I know. I was like, and I met him over the phone for the first time. I was like, oh, this is a wrap. I already know he ain't gonna let him do
at all. That man was on.
Exactly.
You're doing wrong. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
And that was one of my things. Does he have accountability? Is he serving? It wasn't what he looked like. It wasn't he needs to have this together. He needs to have that. It was all the things that I knew that I could compliment. So
that's good.
So yeah, so that was what I was looking for. So let's switch the conversation, same conversation, but switch the deal. Like I was listening to something or watching something, and she was basically saying, or the guy was basically saying that he wants to date a woman, and she's not spiritually there. He was like, what should I do to make sure that she's spiritually there for me? Because in essence, as much as we want a man of God that is spiritually there for us, leading us, what should a man expect from a woman spiritually?
So I've been in a situation before too. Two different religions. Of course, I'm Christian. I wasn't walking all the way, but still, I know eventually I will. And she was Mormon. It was like
Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, it ain't gonna work because we did have a conversation to where she said that if there was ever kids involved, that they would go to her church. I was like, no, that's not gonna work because I wasn't going to my church. I wasn't going to church at the time, but still, I wanted to go to my church. So kind of had that back and forth. Well, we could do some Sundays my church and the other Sundays your church. And for a while, I was like, that's not going to work because I don't want to have. I mean, sure, you want to give your kids options and everything, but you also don't want to confuse your kids either. So I was like, it's not going to work, especially if we in two different positions in this spiritual growth.
Right.
Yeah, it's just not happening. Now there's a lot of women, a lot of men that want, equally yoked women, especially if you all doing the same thing. You want them to know the same kind of spiritual struggle you're going through.
Yeah.
It's, so if under God, then yeah, we good.
Yeah. How much under God though? Like, are you expecting like?
Well, that depends on the man. For me, it was
I
just
mean,
like,
what we expect?
hey, is she doing her thing,
Mm-hmm.
which you was. I was like, I'm straight. I don't have to
Gotcha.
worry about nothing. I
Gotcha.
think that's big things too. Like we don't want to worry about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So if he was like, oh, she walking with God, she got all that power. Cool. Now I'm focused on God myself.
And that's the thing too. A lot of us meet men or women that are they're great for us,
Mm-hmm.
but they are spiritually, or either they're in a different religion or they in no religion at all. They floating, don't know what to do. We have a lot of people nowadays who have especially left the faith.
Mm-hmm.
So um we're dealing with dating and with that. And so it's like, now how do you gauge that? Because they were in the church. They don't want to go to church no more. They experience church hurt, but we are dating now. How do I gauge that? Like, it's so many different ways to think of that. But honestly, like you said, you just got to be on, you have to be on the same page.
Yeah.
If you want to go to church and that's your thing, of course, it's more than church, but if you go to church because there's accountability there, there's a sermon there that you can get, there's teachings there.
Yep.
And the person that you want to that you're dating isn't trying to do that, then that's where the problems lie.
Yeah.
Because like, I'm coming getting fed on Sunday, I'm asking you questions about everything, or you're not even asking me questions. Rather, you like, oh, you in church? Okay, cool. So yeah, about today, yeah, I went, shopping for this, and I, was hanging with my boys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know that that we're in this together, that we're talking about Bible together, that we're can possibly do ministry together, that you're praying for me. Like, I don't even know that you're praying for me
The crazy
when you're
thing is
home.
that's a lot of the struggles I hear, other than the dating struggles, but as far as like spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
is either the man is not going and she's going. It's
Mm-hmm.
usually that,
Mm-hmm.
where the man is not going and she's going, and that's where the issue lies, because it's
Mm-hmm.
like she's doing the prayer warrior thing where she's
Yeah.
praying for him and everything, trying to get him to go, and he's just
Mm-hmm.
like, nah, I'm gonna stay
Mm-hmm.
at home.
Mm-hmm.
And some actually, you hear that back in the day where the man just stays at home while they go to church.
Mm-hmm.
Whole family go, he'll still be at the house.
Yeah, and that's where I've been listening to, of course, different podcasts about that, because there are cases where y'all didn't just a couple cases, but where y'all weren't into Christ when y'all got married.
Mm-hmm.
One of the spouses,
They went,
got saved, and now they're coming back and they're trying to get the other spouse saved,
and they ain't doing it.
And they ain't doing it. But it's what you do is, and it's hard because you're married. It's not easy to just leave like that.
Yeah.
And so from what I'm, it's just more so you have to continue to pray.
Yeah.
You got to continue to live the life and not make it, I went to church today and you ain't did nothing.
Don't bash them.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be able, they have to be able to see what you're doing and be like, okay, I see change, and that might take some years.
It's going to take a while.
And that's the hard part about living for Christ and being there, because they could come around. I've seen couples who have come around to that.
Watch War Room.
Oh, yeah.
Called? Yeah. Watch War
Room.
I
was like, is there another one? Yeah. War Room, great movie for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe leading spiritually, or even spiritual, trying to gauge spirituality, it's like you said, it's no right or wrong answer to that.
Mm-mm.
But you just got to continue to walk with God in that. And ask God, should I continue?
I'll tell you exactly what I did. I say, I'm putting God 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we was dating, I was like, I'm putting God first. I was like, I gotta get baptized and all of this stuff. She's like, well, no, God's first. Oh,
you ain't got to get. I gotta get. It has to happen. So,
I'm gonna tell you why I had to get baptized, because I was like, all the other times I got baptized. Yes, other times I got baptized twice, and it would be my third. I was no demon child. It's just parents. Anyway, I was like, I ain't did it for myself.
Yeah.
It was everybody else telling me what to do. I was like, yeah, that's cool and all. I know Jesus because y'all told me about him, but I don't know myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm going to do this because I chose to do this.
Yeah.
And that was a
That
beautiful
was
thing.
attractive too.
Yeah, she was like, ooh,
That was attractive.
ooh, oh, he said, put me to side. I'm going for God.
Right.
I
And
like
that's the
that.
thing, because I don't want you to do this for me. That's what was the hardest part. I had a lot of guys I would date, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I'll put it on hold for you. I'll do it," but and they might not say that, but you could tell that's happening.
What y'all putting on hold?
It's like, well, I mean, just saying, like,
What was put on hold?
it could be a lot of things or whatever.
Okay.
Like they would just show off like they were in Christ,
Yeah.
and they were doing the things, and you could tell they weren't, but they would be like, "I'm doing it for you."
Which that's
the part that hurt so much, because it's like, no, you're not. I don't trust you. That's why I had trust issues.
Well, one, it's like, why are you doing that for me and not God?
Exactly.
That's weird.
Exactly. So that's another thing. So yeah, the next thing I want to move to is this whole thing about God telling folks to marry people, or that they said that you're my husband, you're my wife, kind of thing. Like, somebody asked me a question that was like, did DJ hear from God that you were his wife? And I was like, that's a good question. I don't know. And then you weren't the one to say, God told me that you were.
He stopped me right in my tracks when I was in the car.
And I think it's so much, we put so much praise. It feels like magic. Yeah. Sometimes like that. Like we put a little twinkle pixie dust over our relationships, and if it doesn't have "you heard from God" in that way, in audible,
and that's why the men be misusing that. God told me use my girlfriend
way. Like everything ain't prophetic.
Yeah,
everything don't come to you. Sometimes God works through people, and y'all meant to be together for that moment in time. But yeah, so did God tell you?
He didn't. He didn't tell me. It was more like he showed me. With all them failed relationships that I was in, and everything I've been through, where I think the biggest thing was you doing the discipleship with me all 18 weeks, and then on top of that, still doing like the learning communication thing. Like we have books and stuff like that. That was like, okay, yeah, she's serious about this. I think the biggest part was me actually, when I said it, me telling you getting baptized. I think that was like, okay, she's here for all that. And then you didn't give me no issues.
I could have. There's a lot of issues I was waiting to give you.
No, you wouldn't.
I held on because it was petty.
Well, I think a lot of even if you did, it was minor. For me, it was minor because you I think you even tried the one time where you try to call from a different number or something like that and had to pick up.
Oh yeah, I had a new cell phone at work.
I was like, nah.
And I was trying to see what he was gonna do.
Nope, she got no answer. She's like, you didn't try to play nothing.
That number, what'd you do? Oh, that was you?
I blocked you. I was like, I don't know who this is playing with me. Send me a text message talking about something. I was just like, block.
Right.
But other than that, no, you didn't give me no problems, no issues. And not saying that there's no such thing as no problem or issues. What I mean by saying that is other relationships I've been in is like it was always something, and a lot of times it's like we could have just talked this through or something. It's just like, golly, it's like everything got to be a problem.
Yeah.
Where with us, it was like we talked it through. Anything we had going on, we had some kind of communication. Yeah. Even though it wasn't as strong as it was now, it is now. But we still talked about everything.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked it through.
And you listened. That's the difference.
Yeah. So that's how you knew.
Oh yeah.
More so than an audible or a prophetic or God dropped on me, that it was more of what God showed you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the same for me. Like it wasn't kind of, I should say. What I talk about all the time, especially with the women I coach, is how God gave me a vision for the man that he would place in my life. And so over time, as we were dating, the I saw what was in the vision was coming true for us. So I was like, more than likely, this must be the guy that God has for me because it's lining up with the prayers I've been praying, the list that I had, and the things that I desired. So I was like, okay, what's happening? So that's kind of what happened. And then that's kind of what the reason why I almost tried to self-sabotage the relationship.
Week 2.
There was no week 2s when I did that. But it's because I was like, okay, God, great and all, but there's got to be a red flag here. Flag on the play. Call it. Where's referee?
He too good. Get out of here.
Right, exactly. So I felt like something was going on, but then God was like, "That's the reason why I'm showing you. He's supposed to be for you." That's what was happening. Thankfully, there was a guy at the church that he asked me how the relationship was going because he met you, and he was like, "That sounds good to me. What are you talking about?" I was like, "I don't know." He was like, "No, you mentioned everything to me, and everything sounds perfect." I was like, "Oh." So sometimes it's good to speak to people before you make your crazy decisions about things.
It's like, he must be doing something. Let me call him.
So,
what you doing? Oh, I'm playing the game. You ain't playing the game.
You ain't playing the game.
You out there with your friends doing
You out
stuff.
there with your ex you told me about that you broke up with 5 years ago. Don't ever speak to no more. She ain't ever came no more. But yes, you are out with her. Like
she literally like, he ain't talked to me in about an hour or so.
In an hour or so. He must have blocked my number.
Let me see what you doing. What you doing?
So
playing the game still. What do you mean?
So yeah, that's to me was what it is. And so yes, did God tell me in a different way? So I think we got to explain it when we tell people this, or when we have our stories of God told. We got to be careful with God told me.
Yeah, just because you had a dream about it don't mean God told you.
Yeah, and sometimes the dream shows you who not to. That's the person you ain't supposed to be with. How about, are you praying when you get the dream? When you get the dream that shows you anything, are you praying about it? Are you going back to the word? Are you going back to the Bible? Are you seeking leaders to tell you to be like, but you just going with your own notion, saying that God told you, but you ain't checked with no source or no nothing? And you just gonna go off that one dream you had a few weeks ago to go do anything. I'm not even talking about your spouse. I'm talking about anything, right? Like, we got to remember, as children of God, God loves us so much that the enemy is also out there and he wants to attack us. So you got to be careful. I know there's a relationship I know right now that she's in a verbal abusive relationship. And because she said that God told her to be with this man, she then moved in with him to another state from where she's known, from another state with him, moved in with him. And everything, of course, was great and dandy before they moved in. And now everything's showing up where he has some health issues now. He has some major health defining issues right now. And she's struggling. And now he's verbally abusive to her, doing all the things. But she would stay there this long because God told her that this was supposed to be. Ma'am, who'd you check with? Did you talk to anybody about this? You just ran and leaped and left because God told you. How about God didn't tell you? You put God in it after you was there to confirm it.
Right.
So you there with him and you're like, but God told me, but yet, no, God did not tell you. So don't be putting God's name in your mouth. Keep God's name out your mouth if that wasn't God. I'm sorry. Anyway.
Or maybe she is supposed to be there to bring him closer to God.
No.
I know it's not.
No, but that's something that I think prayer, y'all, pray. Why are we not praying no more? Like, for real, like, really, like, get together with your people, get together in your prayer closet and pray about this. Quit walking blind.
I'm telling you, watch that war
and watch War Room.
Watch that War Room.
And while you're at it, Watch the other one. Fireproof.
Oh, I forgot about Fireproof.
It's a good one.
And Gladiators.
Gladiators.
I think that's what it's called.
Gladiator.
It's a football one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was another topic. I'm gonna merge that into the topic we didn't talk about the last one. So we'll just make a whole nother podcast episode with the topics that we ain't talked about because it's not gonna mesh well, and that's another 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So we gonna go ahead and leave this out. But yes, y'all, please holla at me. Ladies, if you are looking for someone to talk to in regards to your relationship and you just want a extra eyes on it, holla at me. Schedule a dating with confidence clarity call with me. The link is in the description. Let's chat it out. Let's talk this through because I don't want you out here bad. I want you out here good. I want you dating with purpose and intention and be able to look and see and be able to see what's out there for you and know that there is someone out and you ain't got to settle. All right. But yeah, I love y'all. We love y'all, men and women. Thank y'all. Appreciate it. We out.
Peace.